Wings up, family. Wings up, and happy Friday. Happy Friday to everyone that's on the call. Wings up, wings up.
Wings up.
I am so glad to see everyone on this call today. This is our Friday night mindset call. This is our G2 Global Reset call. You guys know that we meet every second and fourth Friday for our G2 Global Reset call. Once again, I'm grateful to all of you all that support this Friday night call and this mindset development call. You guys could be doing a lot of different things on today, but you decided that you wanted to make sure that you heard today's message. So I want to make sure that I'm in and out. I want to hit some solid key points that hopefully is going to help us and help you and help me to just empower ourselves and get better in our everyday lives. So today I want to kind of share with you a message that's that seems to be a little strange at first. As a matter of fact, Dr. Jamal Bryant spoke on it, and he actually preached this subject one Sunday morning. And the title alone, if some of you all have not heard the message, made people sit up in shock and made people think. As a matter of fact, it had others uncomfortable in its title alone. And the message was simple. The message simply said, I hope you fail. I hope you fail. Now, a message with such a title actually sounds like an actual insult. It sounds like an insult, right? But most of us have been taught in our life that we should avoid failure at every cost, at all costs. We've been conditioned in our minds, you all, that failure is shameful. We've been conditioned in our mind that failure is embarrassing. We've been conditioned in our mind and in our thinking that failure is final. Right? But Dr. Bryant, he flipped the script, and this is what I liked about it the most. He flipped the script and said that failure is not your enemy. Failure is the necessary stepping stone towards your destiny. Wow. Failure is not your enemy. Failure is the necessary stepping stone toward your destiny. And he's right. He was right. It's 100% right. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is not the opposite of success. You were taught that, right? Failure is part of success. It's not the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. John C. Maxwell, the leadership expert, you guys know about John C. Maxwell. He wrote a book called Failing Forward. Okay. He says the difference between average people and achieving people is that their perception and response is their perception and their response to failure. He says that the difference between average people, okay, and achieving people is their perception and their response to failure. So today, I don't just want to talk about success. I want to talk about why I hope you fail. I want to talk about why I hope you fail because If you're failing, it means that you're trying. If you're experiencing failure, it means that you're growing. If you're failing, it means that you're stretching. It means that you're getting closer to what it is that you are aiming for. You're getting closer to what you sought out to achieve, right? So if you're failing, that means that you have motion, you have movement. When you go to the gym and you're working out, for all of you all, I know you can look at me and tell that I do a lot of working out, right? I'm glad your mics are on mute. But one of the formulas to increasing or the reason, not a formula, but the reason why you get muscle in the gym is but called muscle failure. It's taking your when you're exercising, it's taking your muscle to a point of stretching it so many times that you create what's called muscle failure. But muscle failure is simply growth. It simply means that you've stretched your muscles enough that it's created more mass. It's created more muscle, right? Just by way of muscle failure. So the purpose of failure has a purpose, okay? It's not wasted time. Failure is a teacher. It's a teacher. So let me break this down, okay? Failure has 5 pillars. Number 1, failure is a learning experience. Number 2, failure builds resilience. 3, failure encourages innovation. And number 4, failure clarifies your goals. And 5, it inspires others. So failure is a learning experience. Every failure teaches you something about what doesn't work, right? It teaches you what doesn't work. Thomas Edison said, I have not failed. He said, I just found 10,000 ways it didn't work. He said, I never failed. I just found 10,000 ways that did not work. Because when you fail, you gain insight. Okay? You gain insight. And you gain insights that you can't get from books. When you fail, you gain insights that you can't get from classes. And when you fail, you gain insights that you can't get from theory. So failure is a learning experience. And then failure builds your resilience. You know that every setback toughens your character. Every time you get hit and knocked down, that toughens your character. Resilience is the muscle of success. And you don't build muscle without resistance. You all know that. You don't build muscle without experiencing resistance, right? Think about athletes. They don't grow strong from just easy workouts. It's the push against the weights that builds strength. It's the push-ups. It's the stretching and the pull-ups, right? It's the resistance. And failure encourages your innovation, your creative thinking, because some of the most creative breakthroughs came from failure. Think about it. Some of the ways that you have been able to create formulas and create ways out, right, had to come in your thinking, your innovative thinking, and kicked in, came by way of something failing, by something not going right, by you discovering your 10,000 ways that didn't work. So some of your most creative thinking moments came out of your failure. Walt Disney was fired from the newspaper because they said he lacked imagination. Well, today his imagination has touched every corner of the world. So the purpose of failures is, not only to have a learning experience and to build resistance and to create that innovative thinking, right? But it also, failure clarifies your goals. Sometimes failure reveals what isn't worth your time. Failure show you some things that ain't even worth it. And failure will force you to adjust your path and just how you're doing things. It narrows your focus to what really matters, right? It clarifies your goals. And then failure inspires others. So people aren't inspired by perfections. You all know that, right? Ain't nobody inspired just by perfections. They're inspired by transparency. When you share with others, this is why it's important that you share your story. When you share with others how you failed and got back up, you give someone permission. You give someone hope to try again. People have lost their hope. People have lost their tenacity to keep trying again. People aren't inspired by just perfection and you being perfect and everything going right in your life. They want to know, how did you do it? What happened? How did you overcome it? I had a guy that called me one time that says, "Man, I just want to call you. It was the most harsh initially, and in the beginning when he picked up the phone, and he says, Mo, he says, I want to tell you, forget you. He didn't say forget you. He said, F you." I said, whoa. I said, why did you say that, man? He says, because you're the only person that I know that can bounce back from anything. And I didn't know that the stories that I was sharing was inspiring him. I said, well, you didn't have to curse me out, man. You just could have just said, hey, thank you for sharing it. But that was his way of just saying, man, how do you do it, right? So your failures can inspire others. Your failures can inspire others. Look at Oprah. Got fired from her first job, then built a media empire. Look at Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team, became one of the greatest athletes in the world. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before he made it with Harry Potter, right? See, failure is a classroom, and the diploma that you earn is the wisdom that you gain, right? So there's lessons in failure. There's lessons in failure. It creates humility. It reminds you that you're not perfect and that it's okay for you to mess up. This is why I hope that you fail, because it reminds you to be resilient, and it proves that you can fall and still get back up. I hope that you fail. It makes you creative in your thinking, and it forces you in your failure to come up with new solutions. Yeah, I hope that you fail. It creates patience and perspective. It shows you what really matters. It shows you that success does not come overnight. I hope that you fail. It creates focus for you. It creates empathy for you. It makes you appreciate success when it finally comes. I hope you fail. And out of your failure comes wisdom. Every failure adds another lesson to your toolbox. It increases your faith, right? It teaches you to trust God and to trust your positive and your elevated frequency when you cannot trust that outcome. I hope you fail. I hope you fail. Because if failing is going to teach you humility, if failing is going to teach you to be resilient, if failing is going to increase your creativity, if failing is going to make you patient and show you that success don't come overnight, if failing creates shows you a different perspective and shows you what really matters, if failure helps you to eliminate distractions and to keep you focused, if it shows you empathy and shows you how to be grateful and shows you gratitude and shows you wisdom and faith, then I hope you fail. Dr. Bryant said that your failures are proof that you're still in the fight. Your failures are proof that you're still in the fight. Failure doesn't happen to the ones who never try. It only happens to the ones who had the courage to get in the game. You got a lot of people that sit on the sideline and watch you get in the game. You have people on the sideline that watch you go through your journey, watch you go through your failures, watch you go through your stretching period, right? And it's proof to them, it's proof to you, and it's proof to everyone around you that you are still in the game. You're still in the fight. You thought that failure was the opposite of success. But when you come into your right thinking, you understand that failure is part of success. So when you're building, some of you all are building your businesses. Some of you are building your family. Some of you are, you're building your educational platform. Some of you all are building in your health, right? And you're building. And in your building process, you want to be one of the people and the ones who have the courage to stay in the game. There was a psychologist by the name of Carol DeWitt. And Carol calls this the growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset sees failure as a dead end. But boy, oh boy, the people with a mindset of growth, right, see it as a detour to their destiny. People with a mindset of growth sees this as a part of the plan. You can't knock me down. You can't get me bent out of shape because of what has taken place, right? Why? because at the end of the day, it's showing you that I'm still in the game. I'm still in the fight. And it's showing my resilience that I've got the ability to bounce back stronger after my setbacks. Because my setbacks are nothing much more than my setup. They're my alley-oops, right? That's what my setbacks are. People with growth mindset sees failure as a temporary, as temporary, right? And malleable. So you have to reframe failure as feedback and not finality. You have to develop habits to create perseverance. You have to surround yourself with supportive mentors and peers. Failure also unlocks creativity and it pushes you out of your comfort zone. Think about this. If you never failed, you will never innovate. If you never lost, you would never grow. If you never got rejected, you would never find redirection. So failure is not the grave, it's the greenhouse. Failure is not the grave, it's the greenhouse. Man, let me tell you, think about all of your stories. Think about all of your stories, right? Think about how your failure and your stories in your life has created you to be forced to find new solutions. And these new solutions lead to different breakthroughs for you. Think about your stories, right? Think about your stories. Think about some of you as business owners, how you've taken calculated risk. We embrace failure as part of our innovation, as part of innovation, right? Leaders who embrace failure as part of innovation take smarter and bolder risks. You got to reframe it. Say, I learned. I didn't fail. I learned. 3 things you have to do. You have to reframe it, you have to detach it, and then you have to outlast it. You have to reframe it, you have to detach it, then you have to outlast it. This is how you beat failure. You reframe it and say that I've learned and I have not failed. When you come up against these things and these challenges that you feel has gotten the best of you, you have to get the message out of that mess. MESS. See, there's mess in the message, but you have to get the message out of the mess. So you have to reframe it and say that I learned from it. It didn't cause failure. I didn't fail. I learned. Then you have to detach it. Failure is what happened. It's not who I am. Failure was an incident that occurred, but it doesn't define who I am. And after you reframe your thinking and you reframe how you view this, and after you detach it, you then have to outlast it. You got to stay in the fight. You got to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. You have to keep showing up when you don't feel like getting up, when you don't feel like going to the meetings, when you don't feel like going to or speaking to others and trying to rectify whatever failures that you've just experienced, and you don't feel like dealing with that and feeling like and you don't feel like grabbing the bull by the horn. What do? You have to keep showing up regardless. You have to outlast it. You have to outlast it. Change how you view it, change how you're thinking about it, and then outlast it. Detach from it. Failure is not, it's what happened to you. It's just what happened to you. It's not who you are. It's not who you are. There was you all know about I remember the story a long time ago. I heard about it, the bamboo trees. You guys remember the bamboo trees, the big bamboo sticks from the Chinese? If you guys, anybody on here knows a story about that, for 5 years, this bamboo tree is watered for 5 years. And you guys see how strong the bamboo is. Matter of fact, they use those bamboo sticks to build houses, boats, all type of stuff, right? But for 5 years straight, the bamboo tree is watered. It's fertilized. And it's nurtured for 5 years. And guess what? And in 5 years, you see absolutely nothing. Five years. You've watered it, you fertilized it, and you nurtured it, and you see nothing, no growth, nothing. People laugh at you. They tell you that you're wasting your time. But in the 5th year, something miraculous happens with that bamboo tree. Nothing happened for the first 5 years, but in the 5th year, it shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. So it goes 5 years of doing nothing. No matter how much you watered it, no matter how much you fertilized it, no matter how much you nurtured it, it did nothing for 5 years consecutively. But in that 5th year, in just 6 weeks, after the 5th year, the bamboo tree shoots up 90 feet. 90 feet. So here's the question. Did it really grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? No. No. It was growing the whole time. It was growing underground. It was growing under the very thing that people look at and think that it's worthless. Because it was growing under dirt. People saw dirt. That's it. They saw filth. They saw something that they didn't want to touch and deal with because it was muddy. But they didn't know that under that ground was a bamboo tree growing the whole time. The roots were developing so the tree can handle the height. The roots underground for 5 years were developing so the tree could handle the height. So failure in your life may look like wasted years. But today I wanted to talk about, I hope you fail, because I came to tell you that you're not buried. You're not buried. You're planted. You're planted. Every failure was fertilizer. Every failure was you being nurtured. Every failure was you being watered. And when your time comes, you're going to shoot up higher than anyone ever expected you to shoot up. When your time comes, you're going to grow way past what people expected you to grow past. When your time comes, because for the last 5 years, you've been growing underground. For the last 10 years, you've been growing underground. For the last 20 years, you've been growing underground. but your time is about to sprout where now in a quick process, in a quick process, in a blink of an eye, you're going to see growth happen because it's your season. Stop trying to grow outside of your season. Just because people see the dirt, just because people see the filth, just because people see the struggle, just because people see your imperfections, and they don't see that your growth yet, they don't know that you're growing underground. They don't know that you're like the bamboo tree. They don't know that you're going through your nurturing and your watering process. So you don't pay attention when you're going through your failures and getting bent out of shape because you feel like you're going through something that no one else is going through. You're going through your process. You're going through your nurturing and your watering and your fertilization period. Because what's happening underground, people are going to see real soon. So yes. I said a million times that I hope that each and every one of you on this call fail. Because if you fail, it means that you tried. If it fails, that you mean that you have action. If you fail, it means that you're learning. If you fail, it means that you're growing. If you fail, it means that you're creating. You're learning patience. If you fail, it means that you're changing your perspective. It's helping you to get focused. If you fail, you're gaining wisdom. So yes, I hope that you fail. I hope that you fail. Failure is not final. Failure is fuel. And if you keep getting up every time you fail, if every time you fail, you get up, I promise you, you're on your way to your destiny. So failure is part of the success train. So every time that you're experiencing failure, every time that you're experiencing these setbacks, you have to take that energy and convert it and make it work for you, right? So failure is not your tombstone, it's your tender. It's your teacher. It's your teacher. Each fall is preparation for your rise. Each fall. Be excited about your creative juices flowing. Be excited about you really learning what it means to be patient. Be excited now about you changing your perspective and you learning in life what really matters. Be excited about it helping you to eliminate the distractions because now you understand what failure means. It's to help me to focus. Be excited that it's creating empathy in you and it's softening your heart towards others' struggle. You ought to look at others that's going through their struggles and have some empathy for them because you know what that process is like. It should make you appreciate what you have, and it should make you appreciate success when it finally comes. It should redefine you. It should stretch you. It should build you. It should teach you. Every failure is a classroom. When you fail, you're forced to think differently. Failure makes you reevaluate. Right? It makes you to reevaluate. This is a tool. This is a tool that we have. This is a tool in our process that when we experience this, if we look at it right, we know that we're on the right track. When you were young and you were riding your bike and you fell off, it's because you failed, right? You didn't have your balance. You didn't know how to paddle. You didn't know how to keep your bike rolling. But once you figure it out by way of falling, that you didn't like falling, and you better learn how to keep your balance, that's when you started riding your bike, right? You learned how to cook by getting burned. You know not to put your hand on the stove. Why? Because you'll get burned. So these are just lessons that you learn by way of failure, guys. Your business, you go into business. What about when you go into business and you lose out? What about when you go into relationships and you don't make it? What about when your health is challenged and your health is failing? What message do you get out of that? When you look at it differently, okay? When you look at it differently. So you cannot have a fixed mind. A fixed mind will not look at this as failure as success. A fixed mind looks at failure as being final. It's being the opposite of success. This is part of the formula of success. You have to fail. You have to fail in order to get to what you want to be in life. You have to fail to accomplish the things that you and the goals that you set out to do. You have to fail in your weight loss journey, in your weight gain journey, in your financial journey. You have to fail. Even in your relationships and your marriages, you have to have some failure in order to build and to have gratitude and appreciation for the success that came behind the failures that you experienced. So yes, I hope that all of you all experience failure. Listen, don't run from failure. Embrace it. Embrace it. It's the training ground for you. Failure prepares the ground for growth. Like that bamboo tree we just spoke of, which took 5 years to grow underground before shooting up that in 90 feet in weeks. Your failure may look like delays, but they're preparing roots for a breakthrough. Your failures may look like delays. It may feel like delays, but they're really preparing you for breakthroughs. Okay? So when you're in the midst of it, in that process of feeling like things aren't going the way that you need them to go, when you're in the midst and you're in that space, this is where you have to sit back and you have to absorb everything that's going on, and you have to turn that thing around and get the message out of that mess. Get the message out of the mess, okay? Get the message out of the mess. Learn to reframe that whole narrative. Separate that failure identity from the outcome. Failure is something that happened. It's not who you are. Practice gratitude. Find the lessons that's hidden in it. And another thing you have to do is you have to visualize the victory. You have to see it. See yourself beyond your setback. See yourself past your right now. Dr. Brian reminded us that your purpose doesn't expire because of one failure. Your purpose does not expire just because of one failure. Les Brown says, when life knocks you down, and some of you all remember this, trying to remember the book that he wrote, the name of the book. Some of you all remind me if you think about it. But when life knocks you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. If you fall on your back. I believe the name of his book was Live Your Dreams, if I'm not mistaken. That's Brown, Live Your Dreams. But if you fall on your back. Because if you fall on your back, you can look up. And as long as you can look up, guess what? You can get up. So learn humility out of failure. Learn resilience out of failure. Learn creativity out of failure. Learn patience and perspective out of failure. Learn how to increase your focus and have empathy for others out of failure. Learn gratitude and wisdom and have faith and learn faith out of failure. Failure is a teacher. It's the teacher. And it pushes you out of your comfort zone. Okay? So if you've never failed, you'll never innovate. If you never lost, you would never grow. And if you never got rejected, you would never find redirection. Okay? So yes, I say it again. I hope that you fail. Because if you fail, it means that you tried. And if you fail, it means that you're learning. And if you fail, it means that you're growing. And if you keep getting up after every failure, you're going to be a beast. So shake yourself off. Shake yourself off and keep growing from your failures. Stop getting discouraged because you're going through some tough times. You're going through some difficult times. Get the message out of it and keep building. Keep learning. Keep getting stronger. Keep growing that mental muscle every day just by way of your failing. Keep getting better. It's not a setback. It's a setup for you. It's a setup for you. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to build you. You have to look at this completely different. You're on a journey, and guess what? You're going to fail your way to the top. And that's what I want to leave with you all today. Fail your way to the top. Be encouraged. Don't give up. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep knowing what the meaning behind this failure is. Keep getting that resilient mindset so you can fall and get back up and shake it off. Keep gaining that faith and keep getting that wisdom and that gratitude that we spoke of, and keep allowing that failure to improve your focus and your perspective. Your perspective, which shows you in life what really matters. With that being said, I hope each and every one of you fail. And you fail to the top, all the way to the top. I see you guys at the top. Wings up, wings up. Stay encouraged. Stay encouraged, guys. And don't give up. And keep your head on tight, guys. Wings up. I hope you fail.
Wings up.
Wings up.